All right. We are live. It is. Welcome to Artco Drone Solutions. We've got a great show tonight. We got more mail today, so we'll do mail call today. We'll talk about my drone search and uh, drones in the news. So let's go ahead and rally up the group here. Okay, gotta send a message to a friend of mine. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, let's put this on Facebook. Okay, now live on YouTube. Check it out. All right, we got that going. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, nobody joined up yet. Okay, let's go over to one of the other shows that's on now. Okay. Well, hopefully I got some people from. Okay, folks, come on over to my show. This guy's over. All right. Hey, Drone Live. Okay. Kelly Paulson. All right. Well, thanks for joining. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I am doing well, Kelly. Uh, when I had a friend go search for my drone yesterday in the area where it crashed, and still nothing. So I don't know. My hopes are fading that I'll ever find that drone. Maybe in the fall when the leaves uh fall, I will find the drone. It's probably hung up in some bushes, or heaven forbid it would have fallen into the creek. Otherwise, if it had fallen into the creek, I think the searchers would have seen it in the water because it's white, and the creek is not all that deep. It's probably maybe a couple feet at the deepest, but that's at the pool where I do a lot of fishing. But where there's a lot of current, it's probably 6 to 10 inches deep, and the water's pretty clear when the water's moving pretty quickly. So it's around there somewhere. I'll keep searching and hope that all is well. And but the good news is I got the backup drone up and running. Remember that camera I showed you last week? Well, I swapped out the camera that was on my other drone. It was keeping it from not working because the original camera that I had on there was working fine. I'd flown it several times. I wanted to check out this camera that I purchased, put it on there, nothing, wouldn't bind. I mean, it would just go like it always does, and then it just wouldn't bind with the remote. So uh, I went to Well, what happened was when I took the original camera off, I broke off one of the tabs where the antenna hooks up to the main board on the base. And so I was screwed there. And so I waited around and I found a camera for about 125 bucks. But luckily for me, I sold a few items on eBay. So it only cost me, uh, wow, 25, 30, 40 bucks. So it really worked out great. And then I got it last week, and the company let us out early on Friday. So I had a chance to come home and on my free time, slap that puppy on, and boom, it worked. So I was happy and took it out Sunday, looked around, and wouldn't you know it, the SD card that I put in it was not compatible. So now I have a new card that I'm going to put in. It's brand new. I just formatted it a couple weeks ago. And so I should be good to go. All right, God of Shadow, welcome to the show. Okay, we got Drone Live and Kelly Paulson. Great, we got a good group so far. This is the biggest group I've had so far on the show. So anyhow, I got another package here. We will open. Oh, Doug Paulson. All right, great. Um, I did post a video from my search on Sunday, and it turned out there was an air show nearby. So I got some footage of a F-18 Super Hornet flying, and I got to try out another feature on the software that I use to edit my videos, the crop and zoom. So I was able to. All right, Doug saw that. He liked that. So that gave me an opportunity to learn some more features about the software that I use. I use Filmora software, and it's fairly easy to use. I like it. It took me a while to learn how to use it. Thank God for YouTube because that is basically what I use to learn how to use this software. And this is what's great about YouTube YouTube is a great DIY source for anything. Car repairs, home repairs, uh, drone repairs. That's how I learned how to fix some of these Phantom 3s. And so Sunday, after I got home, I was prepping this other drone that I had, and I bought it. The note said it had an IMU problem, so that's an easy fix. All you do is you open it up, and then you open up that little black square in the middle of the board, and what you do is you pop it open and you give it a whack, and I guess what it does, it's kind of like a pendulum in there, and it just kind of knocks it back into position, and then you're good to go. Problem is, when I went to take the top off, the plug from the GPS to the board pulled right off. So that drone is toast. It's in pretty good shape. So I'll sell it for parts. So hold on a second. That gives me a good idea. I'm back. This is the drone I'm talking about. So you can see it's got a few blemishes. It's not a big deal. It's still got the antenna uh, connection, so that's good. And that, so anybody, whoa, what the heck happened? Where did everybody go? If if anybody wants this drone, oh, there you go. And it's got a tiny crack in the leg. It's no big deal. It's still solid. Motors are still good. So if anybody is interested in this, $50, $10 shipping, $60. It's yours. If you're interested, send me an email to colokid1960 at gmail.com. And that's also where you can send money via PayPal. So if you want to send me $60, this ships out to you. So, oh, okay, great. So I got that problem solved. So if $60 is too high, make me an offer. You know, I'm not going to give this away. I gotta, gotta make a few bucks. So God of Shadows not really happy with the price, but hey, on eBay, that's that. So I mean, you get a, a pretty good shell. If you got a drone that's got a broken wing or broke, I mean, you got legs that are still in good shape. The antennas are still in this thing. So if you got a broken drone that has a broken piece, just swap out the electronics, put it in this, and you're good to go. Put the camera on here, and you're good to go. So that's not a whole lot. I've seen people ask for way more for a busted up drone like that. So, okay, so if you're interested, uh, shoot me an offer. And you know what? I will post my email address. There you go. And so that's another one of the hobbies that I got into in the past year. You see in the background there, you see my Buds 3. That was my very first drone. And once I got the hang of flying that puppy, boy, when I got the DJI Phantom 3, I thought, wow, this is a piece of cake. I love this. All right, but yeah, I've flown the Cyclone, the Drocon. That takes a little used to getting used to flying that. And that takes because it doesn't have the GPS in it like this guy does. But another good source for finding drones of all kinds. Where this is where I got that Drocon. A place is called PropertyRoom.com. And if you want to find drones there, I just saw a couple days ago there was a unique, I think it's a Typhoon Q500. This is without a camera, and it looked pretty beat up. But uh, I thought about buying it and maybe fixing it up, but you would need a new body. I don't know how. You need a new body. I don't know how good the electronics are. It did have a battery with it, which was a plus. But what I would do, I was gonna replace the body, and oh, now I need a remote. And I've seen some pretty good prices on remotes for that drone on eBay. Uh, so for about $100, I could have gotten that up and running. But the winning bid was $16. But here's the kicker: the shipping was like 30 or $40. And that's the thing I don't like about propertyroom.com is they really stick it to you on shipping costs. I used to back in the around 2005 I used to buy lots of you know cell phones, and what I would do is I would pick some of them up and I test others and I turn around, sell them on eBay. I did pretty good. But what happened, you know how it is. Sometimes somebody gets the same idea as you did and does the same thing, and let's say you know people are undercutting you and you're not making money. So, but it was a lot of fun. It got my feet wet on eBay. I started that. I think I started in 2003, and I was selling the phones. And then when my father passed away, he had a lot of books. That bookshelf behind me that had a ton of his books. I have a few of his books left, mostly on history, uh, the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. They were my two favorite books that he had that I kept. The other ones were Kenneth Roberts books. And guys are probably getting that glazed eye look. Oh, Kenneth Roberts. Oh. Kenneth Roberts, he was he liked to write historical novels, and most of them are pre-Revolutionary War and right up to the Revolutionary War. This guy, the stories are great. Uh, so if you get a chance, Kenneth Roberts, if you like, you're a reader, you like historical novels. He's got one about the Battle of Fort Ticonderoga, which is the name of the book is I think Northwest Passage. I think it's the name of the book. And then he wrote Arendelle. He wrote a lot of stories about Maine, pre-Revolutionary War of Maine. Boone Island, which was another really good book, which was it takes place around the mid 1700s, early 1700s, where a sailing ship coming from England smashed upon some rocks about 2 to 3 miles off the coast. And it was a barren island with just an outcropping. And it had a little depression where the men could go down and get cover from the weather. Well, this takes place around Christmas time. And it talks about their their will to live and survival and how they got off the island, got help. Because at night they could see the light from the city right off the coast. But the weather was so crappy they couldn't just swim it. So let's get back to drones. All right, guys, Shannon, go ahead, check that out. Uh, so I'm a tinkerer. I like fixing things, and one of the things that I like to do is I'm kind of a wannabe rock star. So this was one of my projects. I like to fix guitar effects pedals, and this one was an easy fix. All it needed was a new potentiometer and a new foot switch. So I will be selling these shortly on eBay. These are a great pedal if you like that uh, distortion kind of fuzz sound. So I know I'm getting off track. Where this is a drone show and I'm talking about guitars. Okay, but it all kind of comes back to electronics. I like fixing electronics and I like tinkering and when I got into drones, I was curious to see, hey, what's that? What's inside? What can I do? How can I fix these darn things? So I bought a few broken drones that I just bought parts here and there and got them working and sold them on eBay. So, and that's what I did. Got interested in flying as a kid. I did the inline airplanes. The cops. gas-powered engines. Those were fun. Uh, the, the first one I got was the PT-19, which was it looks like the trainer that they used to train pilots prior to World War II. It was a two-seater. Well, it had a Cox 041 engine, or 049 engine, which was the standard size. And so my dad had to fly it because back then I had leg braces and I couldn't really very well fly one of those. But later on, I got into making profile planes and I made a P-40. And that was a lot of fun to fly until I crashed it. And over the years, I bought engines. I bought the Cox B, and then the Baby B, which was an 020, which was the smallest gas powered engine you could get. And I think the biggest one I got was an 009, and I was going to put that on something I never did. And well, okay, so got a shadow. Thank you for joining the show, and have a great evening. Yeah, Dad Random. I had a P-40 Warhawk. Yeah, it was one of the what they call a profile. What was a slab of balsa wood, and for it had the profile of the body of the plane, and then it had the wing and the tail and the aileron and the rudder. But the rudder was always fixed to where you were going around in a circle, and so that was a lot of fun. And and I bought one of those. They were kind of like a glider, but they flew themselves, and I think it had a weight on the wingtip to where it would just kind of fly in circles, and you put an engine on it, one of those gas powered engines, and just launched it. And it was a big plane. It had a 3 foot wingspan. Got it all finished. Never did get a chance to fly it, and then we moved, so I had to sell it. So that was that. So that was my early take on flying, and didn't do anything for a long time. And when these drones started coming out, uh, one Christmas, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, when my brother-in-law was still around, we got these little remote control helicopters, these tiny little micro helicopters, and they were a pain in the ass to fly. I mean, I could get fly, but I just couldn't control them. They were yeah, you're right, Dad. Random. Some of the toys we had back in the day uh, weren't as cool as I mean, it's technology. I mean, back in my day, we could drink out of the garden hose and never got sick. And we would go out and play until the street lights came on. Then we came home for dinner. And if we didn't like what was on our plate, we went hungry. And you know what? That taught me to try other foods. So, and no seatbelts. That's right. I mean, we're talking about early 60s. No seatbelts. And and no headdress. Remember, those didn't come in until the late 60s, and those were pain in the butt because the way they fixed them, your head was always like, eh. Yeah. So Nathan likes drones. Welcome to my show. Boy, we got a great show tonight. So we're just talking about drones and stuff and just having fun and which is cool. And that's what I want to do about the show. And I wanted to do it in the perspective of a disabled person getting into this hobby. And now it's more than a hobby for me. I have my uh, temporary airman's certificate from my FAA Part 107 uh, certification for commercial drone flying. So I I took drone pilot 101. No, remote pilot 101. That's the course that I took, and they do a great job. Uh, I would when my certification expires, I will take that up and get refreshed, and I'll be ready for the exam. But here is my only uh, beef with them is I wish they would have told me about okay, now that you've taken the test, what's next. They don't tell you that you have to go on this on the FAA website, and what you do is you sign up for IACRA or ICRA, and what you do is you set up an account there, and then you go through all the rigmarole and say, yeah, I took this exam, and here's the test number, and here's all my. They should already have that information already. It should be like, boom, 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 done. All right, your certification will be there in a few weeks. And it would have been nice if they would have told me. Maybe they did when I took the exam and I didn't hear it, but it would have been nice if maybe at the top, don't forget to go and fill this out and blah blah blah, and then your certificate or certification, your little badge comes in the mail. So I got that, and I want to start making money. I had a lot of practice with my drone. You may have seen one of my videos of the water tower here in Arvada, Colorado. It's kind of an icon to the city, and so I got a chance to fly around that. And another thing that I got to get from my backup drone that I lost the other drone is my filters. Now, I've got the other filters, but I don't have the mount that goes on it. So I have to go and order that. And I'd like to get some of the other ND filters and kind of play around with some of the darker filters because I'm here in Denver, Colorado, and we're a mile closer to the sun. So maybe some of the darker filters might be a little handier around here. And also another thing is I went to the Philippines last year, and the next time I go, I want to take a drone with me. I would prefer to take a Mavic Pro or a Mavic Air because then those are easy to carry. However, it gets kind of windy there, and it might be better to have maybe a P3, or a P4, or maybe an Autel. What is that one? Rockstar or ProStar 4, whatever. It's kind of the yeah. Dad, random. You're in southern Utah. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. It gets pretty darn hot down there. I've been through that part of the state. I went through St. George on my way to Las Vegas. So uh, spent quite a lot of time in Utah back in the 60s. I was a patient of Shriners Hospital in Salt Lake City. And a friend of mine, she's from Salt Lake City. You may have heard of her, Roseanne Barr. Does that ring a bell? She's from Salt Lake City. And so there, Spark might be about the smallest I'd want to go, but the problem is the battery life on that. It's only you'd be lucky if you get 10 minutes out of the battery on that. Where with the Mavic Pro, you get up to almost 25 minutes, which is comparable. Oh, you are in St. George. Okay. Oh, your wife's. Oh, nice. Nice. I also went to the one in Chicago too. And that was a good one. Neat thing about that hospital, right across the street was the Mars factory. And in the summertime, if the wind was just right, you could smell the chocolate being made there. Oh, he was a Shriner. Oh, great, great. My grandfather was a Shriner as well, but he was a Shriner in Detroit. I can't remember what order that was, but the order here in Denver is El Jabel. But yeah, the Shriners do great work. Did you know Pat Morita was a patient of Shriners? I did not know that. There are several um, celebrities that are either Shriners or they were patients of Shriners, which was uh, amazing. Now, my father, although he wasn't a Shriner, oh, Akala, okay, could be. I will look it up after the show. But where was I? Getting back to Shriners. My father, he was a 32nd degree Mason, so that is second to the highest you could get in the Masonic Lodge, which is good. Shriners are an offshoot of the Scottish Rite, which is part of the Masonic Lodge. This is the thing that I don't get. What is with the deal with these celebrities, not just celebrities, but people like to make, I don't know, not really disparaging remarks, but uh, make remarks about, oh, he was a Mason. You know what? Our founding fathers, many of them were Masons, and they make it sound like this is a nefarious organization. Oh, it's so secret. Oh, and nowadays, uh, they welcome any uh, anybody to join. I'm not sure Okay, Dad Random. Thanks for joining, and take care of your puppy, and uh, tell him who's boss. So that's our line about the Shriners. So who is ready to open up the package? I got a package today. All right, let me move this drone over here. There's a big box here, so gotta get out the big guns here. Got the big knife here. All right, let's go tear into it, shall we? Here it is. Brought to you by me, eBay. This is another one of my project drones here. Blade. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Well, we got plenty of bubble wrap here. Oh boy. What mysteries could be lurking in this box? Could it be? It is another Phantom 3 standard. Yeah. And look at that. The body on this thing is in really good shape. The legs, there's a crack right here, so I can fix that. No camera, but the antennas are intact, and the plug looks like it's in good shape. It says RC signal. Well, one of the notes on this was it wasn't getting an RC signal. I wonder what could be causing that. Maybe no camera. That's one of the things that I learned really quick in the Phantom drone. If you don't have a camera, I mean, they'll list it. They'll say, "Oh yeah, we had it flying without a camera." Well, yeah, if you still have the original remote control, it'll still bind with that. But if you don't have a camera on this and you try to bind it with a different remote, it's not going to work. So you're kind of screwed if you don't have a camera on that. So I've got another camera that I will rebuild. The camera that I just got, it's got a wonky part on it. Not sure if it's the yaw or the pitch. It's kind of damaged on that, but they said it still works. It just that you couldn't get the gimbal to work. So I've got a base that I could put it on. So I've got all the parts for that. So I could fix that and I get this. I bet you. Well, tomorrow's the last day of work for the week, and they're letting us take Friday off, so we got 4-day weekend. So I will have this thing up and running sometime this weekend. So when I do get this guy done, I will sell this. And I've got an extra battery It's a generic battery. It's not a DJI battery, but it will work with a DJI drone. But since this thing is not under warranty anymore, I will throw that battery in. I'll throw in the extra remote control. Uh, you'll have to get the charger. So I will sell it for $300 when I get this thing up and running. If I don't list it on eBay, or maybe I will have it listed by then. Next week, I will show you this, and I will give you a live demonstration showing you that this puppy works. So that's what came in the mail. I'm going to be selling a lot of stuff on eBay. If anybody's interested, I've got a pair of wedding rings that I have for sale. One's a size 6, and the other one is a 6.5. I'm selling those. I'm going to buy a condo in the Philippines, so I'm scrounging up money to make the down payment, and it's unbelievably cheap to buy a condo. Now, that's the only thing you could do in the Philippines is a foreigner can buy a condo, but they cannot buy a house or land unless they're married to a Filipina. And that's the deal. So I want to get this condo so I have a place that I could go to when I'm on vacation or when I retire. That's where I will be heading. So, and there are lots of places in the Philippines that want to get drone footage of. One of them is Corregidor. I think that would be a fascinating place to fly a drone. That's the army barrack where our guys were holed up when the Japanese invaded. And then we finally surrendered, and then, the story of the Bataan Death March. Uh, One of the things that I learned about the Bataan Death March that a lot of Americans probably don't know is former president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos, was in that Bataan Death March. He was a prisoner of war until the end of the war. Towards the end, he was able to escape the POW camp, and he was able to fight for the resistance, which was cool. Another place I would like to fly, but might be really tough, is Drum Island. And in case you don't know, Drum Island is, well, it's a concrete battleship. And prior to World War One, when the Philippines was part of the United States, it was a Commonwealth of the United States. Uh, President Taft decided, hey, we'll take this small island and we'll make it a concrete battleship. We'll put 2 battleship turrets on it, and it will protect the mouth of Manila Bay. Originally, it was going to have 12-inch naval guns. And then they decided to go with the newest, at that time, gun. It was a 14-inch. So uh, they are turrets just like were on the battleships during World War One and World War Two. And the turrets survived the war. We were able to, you know, captured that island. It was a lot of work getting them, but sadly, those turrets are falling into disrepair and vandalism. Uh, I would like to see someday that we get some people to raise money, go out there and put those guns not in shooting condition, but in working condition. Restore all the hardware that's been destroyed from the battle, and make it like a tourist place where people come in and they could go inside where they had the ammunition, the magazines, where the crew uh, kept their quarters, and there were also 3-inch guns that were out towards I think on the the stern end of the island to kind of keep people from, because those turrets couldn't go 360 degrees, not even, because the front one could only had a pretty good arc, but the top one still couldn't go all the way around because it had a range mast behind it. So, but it would be cool if they could fix that up. Corregidor is a tourist attraction. There is a tunnel that goes into the mountain, which became the place where the headquarters was during the invasion. And it was also hospital. And one of these days, I'll have to go out there, either with the tourists, with my drone. And hopefully, they'll let me fly them. Another place they won't let you fly is Rizal Park, and it's a pretty good sized park. It's kind of like their version of Central Park in Manila, but I would like to fly my drone around Intramuros. Intramuros, if you don't know, is the walled city, which is the old part of Manila. And Fort Santiago is on the kind of the northwest corner of the city, and it's at the mouth of the Pasig River going out into Manila Bay. So, who knew that you would be getting a history lesson of the Philippines? So, I hope I didn't bore you to death with that. But so, and that's about it. I will bring more to you next week. Maybe some more news. Maybe more news about my missing drone. I'm definitely going to do some fishing, so I might talk a little bit about that. Thank you for coming to my show. I hope you will subscribe. Have a great evening and have a great Labor Day weekend. Be safe out there and keep those drones in the sky uh, and out of uh, airspaces you're not supposed to be. So, good night and see you next week. Bye bye. Bye bye. I can't say bye bye. Good night. See ya.